What's going on, everybody? Thanks for stopping by my channel today. My name is Daryl. We are in the workshop and we are going to try to make some drawer boxes for the built-in cabinet. Now, yes, this is dragging on, but I finally got wood for the drawers and I am going to start making the drawer boxes for them. So, as always, let me turn the camera around and show you what I am up to. So, does anybody know what kind of wood this is? It is not poplar. It is aspen. Yes, I'm going to make my drawer boxes out of aspen. So I've never made drawer boxes out of aspen before, but this is going to be the first time. So we'll see how that goes. So we're going to start by making the top drawer box. And that's because if I don't like this wood and it doesn't perform like I want it to perform, I will not be out a whole lot of wood. So what we got to do is we got to mill this up into the proper lengths and widths. And this is 3/4 inch. And the undermount drawer slides that I had gotten is Bloom undermount slides. The maximum I can go is 3/4 for the thickness of the sides on the drawer boxes. So that's what I'm going to do. So let me get this cut up here and to the right size, and we'll do the milling. I'll do the milling, and then we'll come back and take a look at what I've done. Okay, our drawer parts are rough sawn, and right now we have these two are the drawer faces, the front and the rear of the drawer boxes, and these two are the sides. Now our drawer runners are 21 inches deep, so these are roughed out right now, a little over 21 inches, because I got this factory edge here. I need to get that cut off and just mill it a little bit to make it look nice and square. You definitely want to have them square. And then remember that we're going to be doing dovetails. So right here is the plywood for our drawer bottoms, and the drawer bottoms are going to be 1/2 inch. And then this router is going to make our dovetails for us. Alrighty. So I didn't want to sit here and make this into a tutorial on how to do this, but I ran these drawer sides through the dado stack 2 times to get the right size. So this plywood is our floor bottom. So you can see that I got it pretty darn nice. So the only thing that is left to do now, I got all the sides. These are all the sides. These are the fronts of the drawers. And now I need to measure, put them together and measure for the backs. Now the backs, the backs, they're gonna fall into this rabbet here. And then I will glue them and possibly pin them. And let's see what else. My drawer backs. That's gonna be interesting because the way the instructions are laid out, you have to trim out or cut out for the slides to go through the underneath of the drawer. Mine, I'm not going to do this. I want my drawer bottoms to be replaceable. That's just the way I like it. And you know, somebody spills something in a drawer and you need to put a new bottom in it. I want you to be able to unscrew the bottom, slide it out, and slide in a new one. That's just the way I like it. So I do not want to glue the bottoms in to the sides and fronts. So that's the way I'm going to do it. So we'll see when I go to install these things if it causes me any regrets. All right, well, I got the front, which is this one. This is a side, this is a side here. And then I need to make the backs. So I'm going to do that is I'm going to measure from this inside corner to this inside corner. And then the dado is 3.5 inch. The board is 3/4 inch thick. This dado is 3/8 of an inch on both sides. So I will add the 3/8 of an inch, and so basically I'm adding 3/4 back to it. So 3/8 here plus 3/8 here, 3/4. So I measure from here to the inside of here, and then I add 3/4. That should give me the length of my drawer back. All right, so let me get on that. Okay, we have our back sawn to the proper length. You can see we have about 34 inches inside. And then if I bring it up here to here, we're pretty much right at 34 inches. I like it. So you can see our half lap here, and that's how it's gonna go. And then I'll glue this and of course pin it, probably put some dowels in there or something, make it look nice. Okay, I got all 3 drawer backs made. So we are ready. All 3 are ready to be glued together. The only thing we need to do now is make the drawer bottoms. So I will not glue them together until we make the bottoms and get them fitted. So the next thing I need to do is clean up my shop a little bit, clean my bench off, and then get this piece of plywood back there up on the bench so I can measure out for the drawer bottoms and get those cut. All right. And then We will do a little surface prep on the inside of the drawers and on the drawer bottoms themselves, and maybe put a coat of finish on the drawer bottoms, and possibly a coat on the inside of the drawers themselves before I glue them. I really don't know. I don't have a sprayer, so everything I gotta do, I gotta brush on. So I don't think it's gonna make that much difference which way I go. It'd probably be less trouble for me to just put the clear, I'm just gonna put a clear finish on them, I think. And then I might just wait until I glue everything together and do the inside. But I want to sand the insides before, because that'll let me get into the corners and everything. So this is our drawer bottom upside down. So you can see the 1/2 inch will just slide in here, and then oops, slide in here, and then I'll fasten it with a few screws here. So then if sometime down the line somebody spills something, or they want to replace it for some reason, all you got to do is take those screws out and slide that whole drawer bottom out and replace it. So we'll see if that stands the test when I go to put these Blum undermount slides in, if that causes any kind of problems. And if so, we'll just have to find a way to work around them. So that's where we are now. So I will make the other two drawer bottoms, and then I think we will get this plywood up on the bench and cut it down for the bottoms, and then slide those in and just do a dry fit of everything and make sure everything is good. And then if that works out, I will go ahead and sand the insides of the drawer sides, and then we will maybe put some finish on the insides. I don't know, we'll see. And then glue these babies together, and then we'll see what happens when we go to put these attachments on here on each side. So cross your fingers, I will figure this out, because like I said, I've never used these Blum undermount slides before, and it's a new skill for me, so we'll see what happens. Okay, it is the next day and I'm back out in the shop again. Did some cleaning out here last night when I was finished, and now we are back out here again and gonna start working on the drawer bottoms. So I got one drawer already in clamps. It's not glued together, it's just dry fit. And I'll measure for the drawer bottoms, and then we'll do this one first. The first thing I do when I get a sheet of plywood like this is I put a straight edge on it. I know I've shown this in at least one other video. So I like to get rid of the factory edge on it and put my own straight edge on it. And these things get kind of mucked up in transportation, to or from the store. So we will put a new straight edge on it, and then measure them up and start making 3 drawer bottoms that won't be tough. Should go rather fast. And then we will do a dry fit on all of them and make sure the drawer bottoms fit in there properly. And then we will sand them and glue them together. So that's the plan. Let's see what we get done today. What I do to get the drawer bottom widths and I guess height, whatever, how big the drawer box bottom is going to be, is I take a couple offcuts like this, a couple of small pieces, cut it in half, and then I lay them in here in the track, and then I just take a pencil and mark that. Then when I take it out, I can measure, put it back on the line again and measure how long it is. So that's what I do to draw, or to decide how big to make the drawer boxes. And then I cut it down just a little bit less than what it measures on the stick, so it'll slide in easy and have a little bit of room to move around. So that's how I do it. There's a bunch of things you can buy online to help you make the measurement for the drawer bottoms, but this is the cheapest way, and this is the way I like to do it. So maybe one day I'll step up to something you can buy at the store, but right now I just do it like this. Well, here's my first drawer bottom installed. Still a little bit proud of the edge here, so I'm going to have to take that down a little bit. But yeah, looking pretty good. Let's back it up a little bit. But yeah, it's pretty good here. So let me pull this back out and I'll get this flushed up. And then this one will be done. And then ready for sanding. I just want to sand the inside of the cabinet first before I glue it together. That way it's easier for me to sand. And then once it's all glued together, then we'll sand the whole thing. All right, let me do that. Well, we got our edge all squared up here. I don't know if you call it squared up, but it's where it belongs. So this one's done and ready to move on to the other two. So let me do the other two and then we'll come back. All right, well, I got all the backs, or all the bottoms, sorry, in. I got the screws that hold the backs from sliding around in, so they're totally removable in the future if you need to do that. I got the holes in here for the back of the drawer slides. There's a little pin that slides in there. And then I got my little catches, or whatever you want to call these things, mounted. Now, I'll tell you that I did buy this jig to put in to use for this thing. It's like this one here. You put in here and you put your drill bit in there. I did use it for this. I don't have the proper drill bit, so I just picked a drill bit that was closest to the size of this bushing that's in here, and made my holes. And then you're supposed to turn it around like this, and these holes here correspond to these holes on this. I did not even use that. I just put it up next to the edge of the the corners here as far as I could go, and I drilled. I'm using a 1/2 inch drawer bottom, so I used the screws to these screw holes here to hold my catch in place. And I don't know if I'll go by and put screws in these other two or not. So just FYI on that. This thing, I can't remember what I paid for. It was pretty expensive for what it is. And I only needed it for this, just to locate this. But I think if you learned, if I measured this out, and I was always gonna make 3/4 inch sides and 1/2 inch bottoms, that I just can measure it out and just drill my hole there every single time and be fine. But I did buy this thing. I did not use it for up here at all. It just seemed like it was ridiculous. I just used this scribe, and just popped found the center of the hole and just put a little bit there, and then I put some tape on my drill bit. Let me grab it here. I put some tape on the drill bit to tell me how far to go. And on my hole in the back here, I also did the same thing. Just put some tape on here to flag it to how deep to go. And I was fine. Everything turned out perfect. So the other two drawers are in there already. So this one's done. So now I'll just go through and I'll put this one in, and then we'll come back. Well, I have all 3 drawers ready to go here. They're in. Very nice. I like them. Now, as we talked before, when I did these, I didn't know really how far to push these undermount slides back from the face. So you can see that I don't have a whole lot of room here. And this one here and this one here is much less. So I need to push these things backwards. And I So my 3/4 inch drawer face will sit flush with this, the face of the face frame. So that's a learning lesson here for me and this, but the drawer slides are all in. Everything is working good. My gaps are good, and I really like them a lot. So my next step here is to pull them all back out again and to decide what I'm going to do for a finish them, and then I will put them back. And then before I slide them back in again, I will make the adjustment for each one of the drawers, how far I need to push them back, and I'll get them pushed back to the right amount, and then we'll start making the drawer fronts. So that ought to be fun, because that is going to require some veneer work. Nothing fancy, just some veneer work, and we'll see what we come out with. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do something fancy, a little bit fancy. Well, I just said it's not going to be fancy. So maybe it could be fancy or it might not be fancy. Nobody knows. Only thing I'll know is when I do them, whether they'll be fancy or not. So let's get moving on that. So that'll be a different video. I don't know if I'm going to do a video on doing any finishing on this. I think there's plenty of YouTube videos out there that you can watch to look at different finishes. So I'm just trying to decide whether I like to keep them a whiter color like this and just put like a natural clear coat on it, or darken them up with a little brown stain. I don't know. I'll wait and talk to my wife about that. Well, there you have it. I just put in my first Blum undermount drawer slides. So, what do you think about that? There's lots of videos online about how to put these in. This is my experience with them so far. I was a little nervous at first, making sure that I did all my measurements correctly, and I'll just be quite frank with you. I felt like I was winging it the whole time, even though I did my best to measure everything out properly, and it did work out for me. The instructions, not so great. That might be the reason why there's so many videos out there installing these, is because the company's instructions, I would think that they're meant for like a cabinet manufacturer, but you really have to put your engineering hat on to try to figure out those instructions. And I'm not that stupid, let me tell you, but I found it ridiculous the way they were printed. So oh well, so maybe that's why there's so many videos just showing you how to do it. And as you can see, it was fairly easy. Just get your drawer boxes to the right size and you won't have any problems. Or the right dimensions, whether anything else could come into play or not, I don't know. But the drawer boxes have to be right. If they're not, then you're going to run into trouble. But anyway, we got them done. Now I move on to the next step, and that's like I said before, I got to decide what I'm going to do for a finish and put the finish on, and then we'll come back again and make the drawer fronts and put the hardware on there, and those will be functioning drawers. Yeah, yeah, it's been a long time since I've gotten anything really done positive on that project. So after I do that, then we'll make the doors for the closet part, and then make that transom panel that goes up there. So then the light, I got to build a light yet too. So I got quite a few things left to do on that, so I'll definitely keep my momentum moving forward. Thanks for being here today. I appreciate it a lot, and I appreciate my subscribers. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for everybody who just happens by and finds one of my videos and watches them. I appreciate it, and hope you got something out of it, and maybe you'll stick around and see what else I'm up to. Thank you for being here, and we'll catch you again soon.